My phone's ringing. Hello? Good, I'm doing the recap video right now. What are you doing? Okay, let me call you right back. Calvary Recap number 3. So glad that you guys are joining us today. What a great season. We are in the season of Easter. I've always wondered why Easter always moves from week to week. Not really sure about that. But what I was thinking about is how Easter became an official day. So the church had this concept, and they said, should we make Easter every Sunday, in the sense of we're always celebrating the resurrection, or should we have like a one super Easter day where we celebrate everything on that day? And so they debated, should we do it every Sunday, or should we have a super day like a Super Bowl? We're gonna kind of nail down this day and we're gonna celebrate Easter, and that's what they went with. And so every year the church at large celebrates Easter, and it's really kind of a really phenomenal moment for us as Christians, because the whole point of Christianity is not only is there a man named Jesus who died, was buried, and rose from the dead, but that really is the beginning of the new creation that he's done. He's given us his spirit. He's making things new, and there's pain, there's suffering in this world, but the bodily resurrection of Christ is such a huge thing for Christians, because it promises us that we will be raised from the dead one day and that we'll have a new body. And so Easter is just this moment where for us as Christians, there's this kind of reflection, deep reflection. There's a thinking about it, and just excited for what God will do, and we'll be with him one day. And so we were talking in 1 John chapter 3, and I was reading this quote from C.S. Lewis. I think this is kind of funny. Lewis wrote this thing called Preparing for Easter, and it's a devotional, and he talks about this called the Christian way, and he talks about this desire that we have that's outside of us, the desire for heaven, or this desire. And he says, Christians are not born with desires unless satisfaction with those desires exist. A baby feels hungry, well, there's such thing as food. A duckling wants to swim, well, there's such thing as water. He continues on, he talks about this desire, and he goes, I love this. If I find myself a desire which no experience in this world can satisfy, the most probable explanation is that I was made for another world. So Lewis is wrestling around with desires and says, wow, if there's a desire that nothing can satisfy, I'm made for something outside of this world. And he goes, not to the earthly blessings we have right here, never to mistake them for something else, of which are only a copy, echo, or mirage. And so I love that about Lewis. But one of the things this is kind of funny, I didn't share it with you guys on the weekend, but one of the things I thought was hilarious about Lewis is that Lewis is, not only is he British, but he's got some quick humor. So I was reading this in my office last week, and then all of a sudden I get to this line where he pokes at people, and he does that quite a bit. And let me just read this to you. It's kind of funny. He goes, there is no need to be worried about facetious people who try to make the Christian hope of heaven ridiculous by saying they don't want to spend eternity playing harps. The answer to such people is that if they can't understand books written for grown-ups, they should not talk about them. So when I read that, it just, Lewis kind of brings everybody back in a little bit and talks about that line. I thought was hilarious. I started laughing out loud. No one's in my office. It's kind of awkward. But anyway, Easter is this beautiful moment. I'm really excited about this season and getting to spend those times together and to celebrate and to think about it, the resurrection and what has God done. And it's just an incredible time. So my encouragement, a couple things in the recap, 2 things. Treat every Sunday like Easter, remembering that he rose from the dead. And then when we get to, as a church, to celebrate it once a year, to prepare our hearts. And it's just a great moment for us to do that. So super pumped about this Sunday being Easter. If you are in the area and you want to come and join us, we'd love for you to come and join us. We're going to have a baptism. We're going to do services here on Sunday. So we'd love for you to do that. Other than that, if it's not Easter for you, hey, this Sunday, remember his resurrection. What a powerful thing that is. You guys have a great time. We'll see you next week. Don't drop that lens. Good? The windows? Good light?
Episode 3, take 1.
Yeah.